Hello, welcome. This is the Let's podcast. And Let's is a nonprofit organization in Zambia combating domestic violence. Little tiny warning before we begin. This is a safe space. It's a movement. So many countless voices go unheard across the world. And we are trying to create a place that we can empower people, speak openly and honestly, learn new skills, and focus on topics that people might find difficult. We're going to have difficult conversations talking about different things like domestic violence, gender-based violence, mental health struggles, overcoming societal barriers, getting through challenges, and from people's different perspectives as well. We're going to have survivors' testimonies. We're going to be focusing on real life experiences, and we're amplifying these positive voices that we can have in our lives that we can learn from. And I just, it's just a warning really, so that you're aware of what you're going to be listening into. Things might be uncomfortable to hear, and things might trigger people. So with that in mind, I want you to know that you're not alone. So if you feel like this isn't a show you should listen to because of that, then don't. If you do listen and you feel like you could maybe benefit from speaking to somebody, or you want to share something with us, or you're seeking support, please reach out to us. You can get to us through our website, which is www.letsstoptheabuse.com, and you can reach us via WhatsApp from any country, or phone and text in the UK. The number is +44 74 95 33 88 30. You're not alone. We want to be here to support you, and we want to grow and learn from all of the experiences that are happening around us, and we want to let's be part of the change. While we are trying to become part of the change and changing the narrative, I just want you to be aware that Let is an up and coming service. So please, yes, do reach out to us, but just be aware that if you're in crisis, please do access the crisis lines in your area, because we are not a crisis support yet. So you may not get an immediate response. Thank you. This week we're joined with the beautiful and wonderful Hayley Jane. Hayley is going to share some of her story and some of her challenges, as well as how she's overcome those. And we're going to celebrate her success. Hayley grew up in an abusive household, and she survived that. Whoop, whoop. She then also had a child at 16. Difficult feat. And one that she describes as hard, but also her first child is she describes as one of her best friends. And I think her own words were something along the lines of a child bringing up a child, and they learned together, which is wonderful for her to look at that experience in that way. Hayley went on to have 2 more children. Unfortunately, she did have a toxic relationship, but thankfully she is out of that, and she has been for a couple of years now. Hayley went on to train and qualify as a social worker, and she now has her own business, which is in the business of helping people, which she's going to talk about as well in this episode. So Hayley and I chatted and related on growth and making decisions for yourself and ways of empowering yourself and your family. And she's happy, she's single, and she's also feeling like she's on a journey of discovery and knowing herself, learning who she is, learning what she likes, learning who Hayley is, learning who Hayley the mother is, and also experiencing being a business owner and in a position where she's helping a lot of people, and feeling grateful for her life in that way. Not being able to compromise herself for somebody else in this space that she's in. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful to celebrate with Hayley the challenges she's overcome.
So, my name's Hayley. I am a mum of 3 from Chorley in Lancashire, and I have had quite a bit of trauma throughout my life, I suppose I'll say, in various contexts, from being a child all the way up through to probably 2 years ago. And I guess I've come on this show to talk to Tina about how this has been dealt with and overcome, and the waves that have happened in between. But yeah, it's just to share another woman's story, I suppose.
Lovely. Thank you so much. So you're from the UK, from the north of England,
I am.
born and bred, raised?
Born and bred, yeah, Lancashire lass.
Lancashire lass and raised there. Brilliant. And you work full time.
I do work full time.
Yeah, you run
Yeah,
a really nice. You run a mental health centre in Bolton. Is it Safe
I
Haven?
do. Yeah, so I'm a registered social worker. That is my calling. A couple of years ago, I decided to set up a service of my own with a friend of mine. We'd been working in mental health services for a number of years in certain different projects, and decided that we wanted to do something our way that was more person centred than your bog standard council packages can offer. And that's what we did. We set up Safe Haven in Bolton, and the service is flourishing. We've got lots and lots of service users, of all backgrounds, lots of different vulnerabilities and mental health difficulties, but we work hard every day to help them flourish, and it's amazing.
Amazing. That sounds wonderful, and it must be pretty awesome to be working closely, like with your one of your best friends.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's no 2 days are ever the same, but they're never boring. We've always got each other for support. Yeah, and we've got the same values. We've got the same mindset and outlook on life, so it helps. We're really in tune together.
That's amazing. That's really a positive. That's really a plus, like when you're running a business. So
Yeah.
you said before that you've experienced different traumas in your life from when you were quite young to obviously only sharing what you're willing to share. What's a lesson that you've
Yeah.
learned that you wish you could impart onto your younger self?
Yeah, I thought about this quite a lot actually, and I think the lesson for me would be to work on yourself, love yourself first before you let anybody else in your life dictate to you in terms of what you're going to be, what you're going to do, what you're going to say, what you're going to wear, whatever it might be. I think I learned from a very young age to be a people pleaser, and that followed me throughout my life, throughout my adulthood, throughout my relationships, to constantly do for others, and put my own needs and my own wants aside to make other people happy. And I think it's taken me the best part of 35 years to realise that actually I didn't have to do that. If you put yourself first and have those boundaries in place, you can live a much more fulfilling life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's what my lesson would be to my younger self, is definitely love yourself first.
I think that's a really important thing to point out and really encouraging. What if you wouldn't mind just like sort of touching on what sort of experiences you had that caused you to be the people pleaser and why you think you didn't love yourself?
Um, so, when I was a child, I was born into a family of alcoholics. So my mum was an alcoholic. Basically, from the day I was born, I never knew her sober. I grew up in a house where we had domestic violence every day. It was just very neglectful. And I think I learnt to people please from those early years, because I was constantly trying to look after people and make sure that other people were safe, and make sure they were happy emotionally, so that they wouldn't go into crisis. And that's, for a child to do that, for an adult, it's quite a difficult thing, but it follows you throughout your life.
Mm-hmm.
So when I grew up and I got into my first serious relationship with the father of my children, that followed me, and I then put all my wants and needs aside and was a people pleaser for him too, and that was so difficult, especially when you have children and you get to the point in your sort of 20s where you're really learning about who you are and what you want to be, and my confidence was shot, absolutely shot in that relationship, and I think it took me all of 12 years with him and finding myself to be able to say, actually, no, I deserve better than this. I need to put myself first. And I'm still learning. It's not something that I'm, fully healed from. It's not something that I'm a guru in. I'm learning every single day to be strong and have those boundaries in place and put myself first. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I'm certainly a lot happier now than I was.
Yeah, I can see that. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see how well your resilience definitely comes through in the way that you talk and the experiences that you've had in your life. Do you think when you were training to be a social worker that any of that impacted the way you saw yourself?
Massively. So when I went to uni, I think I was sort of, could I say, 8 years into that relationship, that big relationship. And every single day that I went to university and I was learning about other people and child psychology and just lots of different things, every day I was having my eyes open to a different world, to a different part of myself that I'd never recognised before. And I did so much internal work during those 3 years without even realising it, that it just changed me for the better. It really did. The people that I met, the reflection that I took on, it was really, really eye-opening, and I'm so glad I did it, because I think had I not done that, I'd have been stuck in the exact same spot thinking there's nothing else for me, and it just opened up my world to possibilities that I never knew were there.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's so encouraging for people that are listening that are thinking, should I go to get back into education? Should I, even if I'm not in a great place with myself mentally, maybe doing something is gonna like change your perspective and change your view. That's a great way to look at it. So did you have any siblings growing up in that sort of environment?
I did, yeah. I had a younger sister, so she's 4 years younger than me. But the majority of our childhood, because we had different dads, she stayed with her dad. So I became the sole caregiver for my mum until I was 18 when she passed away. And she thankfully was sheltered from quite a lot of it.
That's good.
Not to say that there isn't trauma there. There is a lot of trauma there for her, but it's different to mine. But thankfully she was sheltered from quite a bit.
Yeah, that is. I suppose that's a little blessing that you've got. Although yes, like you say, still trauma there. It's very difficult to escape alcoholic parents, even if you're not in the same household, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. So, what strategies do you use to build resilience in the face of difficulties?
I mean, for me, it's been a journey. It's when I went to uni, I suppose I could look back at that as a strategy now. Putting myself back through education, learning new things, educating myself on ways of life that I didn't know were possible before, and building that self-confidence up. That's definitely something that helped. In the day-to-day now, I take care of myself in various ways. It might be that I need to get out in nature, I need to spend time with friends, I need to be in the sunshine. Some days I need absolute solace. I need self-care and silence and sticking my phone on do not disturb and just saying, no, to the world, because that is what I need on a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing for me is just being in tune with yourself, really listening to what you need on that day, at that time, and honouring it, doing what you need, and being okay with letting others down.
Yeah.
It's not for selfish reasons.
No, yeah. I think that's one thing that a lot of people would struggle with, especially people that are quite empathetic, feeling like they're letting people down by putting themselves first.
Yes, massively.
And yeah, do you have any advice or suggestions for people that might be feeling like that?
I think communication is key. It's something that I've had to learn a lot over time, and I'm still learning to communicate my needs better to people. I have always been the biggest people pleaser, and I am very empathetic towards other people, and I would usually put everybody before myself. But I think if you communicate to people, kindly, that you need something too. I can't do this for you today because it's not because I don't care. It's just because I've got to do this and put myself first. But I'll be here tomorrow. It's about having those open conversations and making people know that you do care, but you can't be available all the time. And it's just having that balance, isn't it?
It is. Well, you mentioned before about being in tune with yourself, like sometimes to the point of being in tune with yourself on a day and realizing today I need this, tomorrow, like yesterday, I maybe needed something else. Do you have any advice or suggestions for people to how to become a bit more in tune with themselves?
I mean, it's different for everybody, isn't it? Some people like to wake up in the morning and journal about how they're feeling. I tend to do a journal at night at the end of every day. I actually do it on my phone because I don't particularly like pen to paper, so I've got a journal app on my phone, and every day it gives me prompts on what mood I'm feeling in, what might have happened within my day, any challenges that have come up, and then I can reflect on them. And that sort of helps my mind settle at the end of each day so that I can wake up feeling fresh and less impacted the following morning. So that's something that I definitely do, and I meditate at night. I do a meditation and a journal every night. I think during the day, it's just a case of being able to stop yourself in the moment. But that takes practice. That takes real practice to be able to stop yourself and say, what do I need right now? And when you're a busy mom or dad, or you've got 1,000 things to contend with in a day, I guess you just take your time and be patient with yourself whilst you're trying to do that. Be as organised as possible and give yourself a break when you need to. It's okay to get something wrong. It's, you're not superhuman. It's okay to say, actually, I didn't do that today and I really needed that, but I'll do better tomorrow.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's wonderful to hear you say it as such an inspirational person, but it's encouraging because actually all the last couple of weeks, the interviews that I've been doing, one of the things that keeps on coming up is people being able to give themselves grace, or sit in the moment, or take a breath, or give themselves some time to recognize that they might not be able to do this right now, and that's okay. And just seeing that it's such a great skill to have, and a lot of people don't actually have that skill. Which it's difficult to learn, though. It is a difficult skill to learn.
It is. I think for people like myself and you, having worked with vulnerable people and having supported others through their mental health difficulties has helped us learn about ourselves and putting these strategies into play in our own lives. I think a lot of what you learn is through teaching. So maybe it's a case of, if you want to do better for yourself and you want to build on those strategies around resilience, maybe talk to your kids about it, maybe talk to your friends about it, impart some wisdom, and hope that comes on you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Practice what you preach.
Exactly. And it's so hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Can you describe a time when you've exceeded your own expectations?
Couple. Am I allowed to give a couple?
Yeah, of course, as many as you want.
I think I've had sort of 3 big achievements
Ooh,
in
okay.
my life.
Oh, please share those.
They may not be big to other people, but to me, they are. My first was I had my first child when I was 16. I moved out of my difficult home, and I feel like I did my very best with that. Right at the beginning, I lost my mum after my daughter was born. It was a very hard time, but I didn't let it beat me. I didn't give in to all the other people around me and follow suit in what everybody thought I was going to do. I got my own home. I got a job. I set up and tried to leave the best life possible for her. Obviously making mistakes, as you do. I was very young. Yeah. But
and a human being.
I think my second was going back to uni. I left high school with absolutely 0 qualifications.
Yeah.
I had a baby, like I said, and everybody thought my life was over. All my family said to me, "Well, you're done now. What are you going to do? Are you going to get a council house? Are you going to live on the dole the rest of your life?" And I said, No, I'm not. Watch this space. Yeah. And I finally plucked up the courage to go to college and get the qualifications I needed to go to uni, and went from there. And I think that was one of the bravest things I ever did. Yes. Because I had absolutely no self-confidence when I started. I went in there like a deer in the headlights, thinking I'm not good enough to be here with all these clever people, and I left with a first-class honours degree.
Amazing!
So yeah, that was a big achievement. And my third and most recent one, I would say, is leaving my partner of 12 years. Yes. We had children together. It was an emotionally abusive relationship that I was deeply in, and I managed to get the courage after 12 years to stand up and walk away from that, and I left with absolutely nothing. I started completely from scratch with donated furniture and you name it. I did it. I walked away, and I have never been prouder of myself, I think, and emotional strength. So that's where I'm coming from today.
Amazing. Amazing. Absolutely. Thanks. Amazing. Hayley, that is such an inspirational story, like part of your story. 3 really crazy, scary as shit. Like, yes. Having a baby at 16, what the heck? Leaving school, no qualifications is one of the things that people everywhere tell you. You won't make it if you do that. You won't make. Yeah. And then you did it. You had a baby, and then you actually had 2 more, right?
I did.
And yes. you were doing your qualifications, and you first-class honours degree in social work as well. Not like, I was going to say, not one of these easy things, but actually I don't think there's any easy degrees. Any pieces of education is difficult. So, wow, absolutely amazing. And then to top it all off, leaving with nothing and starting afresh, which is so difficult in itself, scary, the unknown. And then
absolutely terrifying at the time.
And then navigating all of that with 3 children as well, because it's not like you did left on your own, is it?
No, but do you know what? It can be done, and I think for so many years I was stuck in that cycle of thinking there's never going to be anything better than this. I'm not worth anything better than this. How am I going to do it on my own if I did do it? And one day I just got the courage, and I have never been happier since. You know, It's difficult, but you can get through it.
You can.
You know, there's no point staying in a relationship that does not treat you well, that is not good for your children.
No.
It's hell for everybody, and the aftermath of it emotionally for people is so hard. So, you know, you've just, looking back, I think, get out whilst you can.
Get out, yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't get better, so just trust your gut and get out whilst you can.
So while you're talking about like things getting tough, what motivates you to keep going even when things get tough?
My kids. It's always going to be my kids.
Yeah.
My eldest especially, because I was a child when I raised her. I was a kid raising a kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's probably struggled through every battle I've had with me. And, you know, she struggles herself now. She's a young person who's so bright and so intelligent and so caring, but she does. She's been impacted by things that have happened in my life, but I'm so motivated to show her, if anything, that you can come out of the other side of difficulties. You can overcome challenges. You can be happy on your own with somebody, you know, as long as it's right for you.
Yeah.
And you know, she's my best friend now, which is lovely. But I just want to set an example for the kids and make sure that they grow up knowing what happy and healthy looks like for them. And obviously, it's you want to be the best version of yourself for yourself.
Yeah.
But you know, it helps when you've got other people around you lifting you up and watchful eyes and hoping that you can encourage somebody else to do better, whether that's your kids or your friends or people you work with. It's just, being the best version of yourself.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, absolutely important. I agree. It's lovely when we have protective factors or reasons for us to be able to keep fighting and moving on. And for some people that might be parents or friends, and some people could have pets, can't they, that they just are things that keep motivating them. And I think we're blessed that we have our children that are pushing us daily to keep fighting for like growing in resilience and learning new things. How do you continue to learn and grow? I know you've spoken quite a bit about it in your journey, and you've mentioned like you're learning every day.
Yeah. Do you know, I think parenting is number one. That I learn lessons in parenting every day, not just about being a mother, but about myself as a person and the way that we fit in this world. And you know, I think that's something. And through my work, to be honest, the people that I work with every day are so inspirational. The struggles that they've overcome and continue to overcome on their healing journeys. You know, I don't meet anybody that shares a story with me who I don't take something from personally. You know, I'm never of the mindset that I know everything. I've probably used 1% of the capacity of my brain and my learning yet. I just want to meet more people and learn more things about the world and people's lives and how everybody can work together to make things better, I guess. So every day I'm learning from other people.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to be at. The mindset, isn't it, of a sponge?
Yes.
And isn't it really nice when you're speaking to somebody about a story and then something just really resonates with you, and you don't even need to tell them, like for example, if it's a work, like a somebody that you're supporting in the workplace or a client, a service user, you're not going to tell them, but in your mind you feel like something's just clicked or resonated, and it changes your like perspective a little bit, which is it's always nice, isn't it?
Absolutely. It happens all the time.
Is it? That's really nice. I think that's definitely one of the best parts of learning and growing as a person, like views changing. How's your perspective on life changed then over time?
I mean, it's massively. I think the thing is, when you're younger, you sort of see life as this straight line, and you think you've got to go from A to B, and then that's it, you're sorted. You don't sort of see the peaks and the troughs that are going to come your way, and I don't think there's anything that happens to somebody in their life, even the worst things, that can't be a lesson to learn from. You know, I look back now and I think, oh my gosh, that was so troublesome at the time, that was so upsetting, that was so hurtful, but what have I learned from it? Yeah, it was hard, but look at me now, you know, what do I know now? What can I impart on other people? Because I've been through that. And I think it's taking your experiences and finding the good in them, no matter what they were, you know, finding a use for them as a tool, either for yourself or for other people. And just not letting the world and the things that happen to you bog you down.
Absolutely. So, and that's hard, not letting things bog you down, but
it is. And it's not, you know, it's not something that is easy to do. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have bad days, and I don't have days where I don't lie in bed under my covers and think I'm not facing the world today, because we do, we're human.
Yeah.
But we get back out again when the time's right.
Yeah.
And we face the world because we need to.
Yeah. And even recognizing the small things, you know. I think I was just saying to somebody the other day, just if you've been struggling to get out of bed for a couple of days, and then you do get out and make yourself a drink and maybe even get dressed, like, that's a wonderful achievement and something to celebrate. So even if it's not like you were saying before, you don't think, you said they're great achievements to you, but you don't think they beat other people. But I think they're amazing achievements. And I think a lot of women specifically are going to be inspired by your story, by what you've shared and what you've overcome and what you've been able to achieve in such I want to say the upbringing that gave you such a difficult brain and headspace in terms of caring for yourself and then making the right choices for you, because you've come a really long way.
Thanks.
If we're thinking about just to touch on, if there's any people, younger people that are listening who are in that really difficult abusive home or situation, have you got anything to share to them or advice for them?
I think if you were a younger person in the position that I was in, caring for a loved one with an addiction, or, you know, some sort of harmful behaviour that's going on, I think it's okay to seek help from other people. I think looking back at the time, I was scared to tell anybody what was going on. We had no social services intervention as a child because the problems were so well hidden and brushed under the rug by family. And I think had I been able to reach out to somebody and get some support, not only for myself and my sister, but, you know, that could have trickled down to my mum too. I think sometimes as a young person you think that you can cope and that it's okay to take everything on your shoulders, because if you don't, people are going to think you're weak. And I think looking back, I wish I had asked for some help and just taken it whilst I could, because it's asking for help can be a strength. You just don't see it very easily at the time.
I think asking for help is a strength, because I think it's quite brave for a person to be able to do that. What I've just thinking about a person that might be in a difficult of abusive home and environment, if they're in a country where there's no social services and maybe culturally they can't seek support, do you have any advice or practical advice for them to be able to, tools even?
Gosh, in a country where they don't have services, that's hard. That's so heartbreaking. I mean, it depends, doesn't it? The situation could be so complex. If somebody's living in a country where that sort of abuse is happening, more than likely systemic, and it's happening generationally in that family. So reaching out to somebody else in the wider family might be a really, really difficult thing. I guess for those people, I would just try and find one single person that they can trust, whether it's a friend, whether it's a friend's parent, whether it's somebody at the local market, but whoever it might be, that they could trust to talk to and take guidance from, and even take shelter and support if it was possible. There's always somebody out there willing to help. There is. I think sometimes you've just got to trust yourself to go and find it. I think, and absolutely. Not be frightened.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. And thank you so much, Hayley. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your story. You're so inspiring and encouraging for so many people. I know so many people are going to benefit from hearing your story, and because of the awful things that you've experienced and the challenges you went through as an adult as well, and then where you are now and what you've overcome in your own life and what you've been able to achieve. I mean, Safe Haven in Bolton, Lancashire is thriving, and you're helping loads of people from different walks of life and bringing your experience into that as well. So thank you so much for joining us on So Online. Thank you for the interview.
You're very welcome.
Do you want to share anything about Safe Haven?
Yeah, we're a mental health service. We do offer one-to-one counselling and therapies over the phone and online to anybody in need. We've got highly subsidised prices, so for those people who would usually go out and pay an absolute ton of money to have a counsellor, hours are slashed by 80% of that price, because we want them to reach the people who really, really need it most. We have recently set up as a CIC also, so we've got Safe Haven in the community, and we are in the process of applying for different pots of funding so we can offer all of our services for free for the most vulnerable people who need it. So have a look at our website, have a look at our Facebook page and our socials. Amazing. See some of the work that we do.
I think I've briefly seen you I think there was Autism Awareness Day recently on your Facebook pages. Do you have like free resources for people to access, or?
Not as yet, but I'm actually in the process of rebuilding our website. There will be lots and lots of resources like that. We actually really pride ourselves on working with people who are neurodivergent. We've got some wonderful staff members who are so experienced in that field, and the people that we work with have come on leaps and bounds with them in terms of their confidence and getting out of the house and learning those independent living skills. It's been awesome to see. So I'll definitely share some resources like that.
Okay, so you're rebuilding your website. Are you going to have resources on there for other things as well, like maybe self-help tools or self-harming tools and that sort of stuff? Yeah.
So the website we've got at the minute, we had it set up when we first started, which was 18 months ago, and it was just recently I was having a look at it and I thought, it's a little bit basic. Okay. It needs to be bigger, it needs to be better, it needs to have a wider reach and like you said, more resources. So it is in the process of being rebuilt now.
All right, okay. So that would be really helpful for even if there's people listening from different places that want to be able to access some resources. So on the first on the show I did a couple of weeks ago, I given loads of websites that people can access for resources and self-help tools.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously listeners from all over the world, but Let's is going to be in Zambia. So in Zambia, there's not a lot of resources around available for people, especially for free. So I was giving out websites so that people could access just like free resources, self-help kind of kits and tools and things, and Let's does as well. So when you've put your stuff on there, please share it, and I'll stick it up on so people can have a look. And Yeah, just growing healing, isn't it? Growing healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Slowly,
great.
slowly.
Slowly, slowly. Thank you so much, Hayley. Absolutely amazing to have you.
You're welcome.